What's going on, guys? I'm out here in the shop. Been pretty busy. Haven't posted lately. Kind of been going through all the collection of stuff that's floating around this place and getting all my stuff organized here and there and yada yada. Busting over to this side of the shop. We're still working on motors. We've got our F25 LA Yamaha outboard motor. This is the next one that I'm working on. I was missing a bunch of parts and pieces. It was kind of a donor, but it was still good. Has good compression. Still rolls over. All the other stuff is nice on it. Had to go down and strip some parts off of some junkers that we had floating around, and then we're going to move on to probably some 50s. But the starter would not start, so I had to bring that thing over to the unhealing bench, I'm going to call it. And in case you guys are curious, these starters, they have an interesting setup on them. They're a little different than standard. You don't just give them power and ground to kick them off. The starter relay right here on the side of it is what needs the hot, and the hot gets triggered right here when you turn the key. And you can just hook up the negative lead anywhere on the case. The case is grounded, obviously. So for some reason, I couldn't get this thing to kick off. And now that it's on the bench, I found out that the screw is missing from the trigger, so it wasn't making good contact. But she works good now. So I can hook that thing up with my 12 volt. And then over on this side, once I get it all plugged back in, I have a little trigger ignition button sitting right here in the carcass of the old one. So I can just jump that straight across to that little pin on the bottom, and we can just run this thing once the lower unit's thrown on, hook it up to a garden hose, and send her. Amongst all that, we had to pull this thing out and get this ready to go. This is a C8 Corvette Stingray. Sweet little ride. Took a rip in it one day and had a good time. Definitely like this platform. Obviously, everybody does. It's just sick. I would love to have one of these. But we had to hook up the trickle charger to it, and that involves ripping out the side plastic here, there, and then this whole plastic windshield wiper cowl comes out from the frunk. I've got the two little trim pieces and then the big one sitting over there. And that's where your battery is, in case you guys are ever curious. I'm sure you C8 guys know that already. But got to top off the fluids, do a fresh oil change in it and filter. Obviously, that's going to be the other end. And we're just letting the battery charge for now. The only issue we've got on this whole vehicle is right down here, if you can see, that plastic cowling right here. Let me see if I can get a better angle for you. Yeah, there you go. This thing right here, they caught like a deer carcass, I guess, in the center of the highway. Tried to slow down and dodge it, but they caught a little piece in it. It cracked off one of the screws that mount into the front splitter there. So I'm going to have to plastic weld that up and then put another screw in it. But for now, I'm just working on these. So we're going to plug this thing back together, and hopefully I can get this thing fired up in the next couple hours. And we'll send this thing down to one of the giant pontoon boats that needs a 25. Either way, guys, I'm going to have some fun wrenching. I'll see y'all in the next one.